Hello, everybody, and welcome to Brick by Brick. I am your host, Brad Critchfield, and this is the podcast that builds community one conversation at a time, brick by brick. Now, today's episode is a little bit different than our normal interviews. We're going to be talking to the candidates for Lakewood City Council District 2. All candidates were invited and all have accepted the invite, and we're going to get to know them on today's show. So without further ado, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, Brad. Thank you very much for inviting me. My name is Ahmed Rafi. I go by Rafi, and I'm so pleased to be here. The first thing I want to say is to give tribute to my beloved wife, resting in peace. Can you show it in the camera?
Yeah, go for it.
This is my wife, and she was the biggest supporter for everything I did in my life after. Besides, God help me, God help us.
Beautiful. So why don't you tell us a little bit about you and your connection to the Lakewood community?
Nancy and me, and with two kids, we moved into Lakewood in 1986, 40 years ago. And since then, we decided to stay put because we loved Lakewood so much. We didn't want to move out. And our kids, Mohammed and Sarah, they both went to schools here in Lakewood. The elementary, Craig Pulliam Elementary and Mayfair High School. And they were parts of the community. We were part of the community. Ever since we moved, I started volunteering for Neighborhood Watch as a Neighborhood Watch captain. I'm still is a Neighborhood Watch captain.
So Rafi, what makes you want to run for city council?
I love public service. I inherited public service. My father was a public servant. All my uncles, all family members were public servants, either working for the government or the teachers. And ever since I moved, I started volunteering for the Lakewood City, and that gives me inherent satisfaction. This is something intrinsic value that you cannot quantify. That's the reason I go for the civic engagement. I go for the volunteering for nonprofit organizations, and that's my nature. That's why I do the thing. And I want to do great things for the city of Lakewood as and when I elected. Thank you.
So you're talking to voters, you're talking to constituents. What do you hear people say, and then what are you focused on in those conversations?
I talk to the people, the neighbors. Their main concern is safety. And I agree with that. The well-being of the city, thank goodness, our current leaders, they are doing great job in maintaining the city finances and the city budgets. They really are super leaders right now. And I want to either maintain that, if not improve it, make it more surplus in the budget, more reserves, so that we have enough comfortable resources to meet any need if it comes through. But otherwise, that's what I want to do. I have 5 things that I have in my agenda to do it. The number 1 is safety and unity, definitely. And number 2 is actually well-being of the finances. We want to work with the businesses, nonprofits, and make sure that Lakewood Mall is our main source, and we want to maintain that, if not improve more. And the thing is that the family comes because this is the family community, and we want to make sure that children, students, all the elders, and everyone enjoys the life in the Lakewood comfortably. So the prosperity comes there. And then we want to work in partnership with nonprofit organizations, with businesses, to make sure we get more productive, you get more resources, and the next thing is we want to work with our different public source resources like county, state, federal. So we want to have everybody in line and coordinate with them and work with them to show them the progress and get more support. This is my goal. That's what I want to do, continue to do when I'm in the council.
What's one issue in Lakewood you feel doesn't get enough attention?
I think different people have number one priority, but most of them they say that safety is number one because we don't want to have any kind of problems with the thefts or like catalytic converter theft and some other things, or burglaries or something. So the people should be safe. If they are safe, they cannot enjoy the life. That's for sure.
Right.
So we need to spend more resources on security, either more patrolling or have some outside security system watching our neighborhoods, watching our streets, watching our businesses to make sure that they're all safe and free from any kind of problems.
What's one thing you feel Lakewood really gets right?
Lakewood is always right in maintaining our two things actually maintaining our resources, finances, and infrastructure. Right now, this is undergoing right now the construction and improvement of the city hall. That's huge improvement. And city is doing real well. As soon as you enter from other city to the Lakewood city, you feel difference. So that's part of the infrastructure work that city is doing. It's a marvelous job, and I really appreciate that.
What's for somebody who's still undecided, what do you want them to understand about you as a candidate and your campaign in this race?
I just wanted to say that I have experience in public service. I'm so enthusiastic for the public service that I changed when I was starting my education is in public service. When I was working in the private industry, as soon as I got the first chance, I switched to the public service in the federal government, in the United States Air Force, and I worked hard and I proved to them that I'm worthy of their honor, and they gave me exemplary civilian retirement honor. And in my name, a flag of the United States was flown over the Capitol Hill by then Senator Barbara Boxer. And I'm so proud and I'm so glad that I did it. They recognized my public service. So the same theory, the same practice, I want to bring it to the Lakewood. And in order to do that, I kept learning. I believe learning is a lifelong process, and I learn and I teach. And recently I did my PhD at the age of 70 plus after my retirement, thanks to my beloved wife, resting in peace, Nancy, that you already saw her. She was the great force in helping me, encouraging me, pushing me to do it, and I did it. I'm so glad, I'm so proud, and I'm using that information to provide services to the city, as well as I work with the associations, like, for example, American Society of Public Administration. Just last month, I gave a presentation about our city, that how we are doing, how we are partnering with the businesses, with the nonprofits to bring community together to encourage civic engagement. And my presentation at the conference was very well received, and they wanted to know more. It's a work in progress, and I'll do it. So I wanted to tell you that I am the one candidate that is devoted from beginning of my career to this day and for the future to do the public service, and I'll do my best to provide all the things that city, community, businesses, nonprofit they need.
If you've been in an auto accident, don't get mad, call the pad. Preferred Auto Design is Lakewood's #1 auto body and collision center for a reason. Owner David Ariano runs a first-class shop with honesty, quality, and care you can trust. So remember, you get in an accident, call the pad. All right.
Thank you.
So in this segment, this is our rapid fire segment, okay? So just one word answers as fast as you can. All right. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Early morning or late night?
Late night.
Favorite place to eat in Lakewood?
Oh, there's so many of them. It's hard to decide.
Do you have one?
I actually used to go to the soup plantation, but now I go to the Dave's Chicken.
Okay. Beach or mountains?
I go to the beach.
Text or phone call?
Text, yeah.
Netflix or YouTube?
YouTube.
Apple or Android?
Android.
Instagram or TikTok?
TikTok.
Marvel or DC?
DC.
Okay. In just a couple sentences, what does the word community mean to you?
Community means to me that it's a family. Because if one person in community is hurt, you feel it. You feel the pain. It's like a family member. So we have to take care of each and every member of the community as if they are our family members. And that means we have to bring all our resources, all our efforts to make sure there is no problem. Or if there is any problem, it is solved immediately, properly, and at the best possible cost. This is my theory, is the community is a family.
All right, so for this last segment, this is the part where you get to talk right to the camera, and you're going to talk to the voters and let them know, why should they vote for you, and then where can they go to get more information and support.
I just wanted to emphasize that I have been not only public servants for a long time, but also I'm a volunteer for the long time. Ever since we moved to Lakewood, I've been block captain of neighborhood watch block captain of the city of Lakewood, and I'm still participating. I'm also a volunteer for the Friends of the Lakewood Library, also volunteer for the Pan Am Association. Coming up in next month, it's going to be a big festival in the Mayfair Park, so please come there and enjoy. I just wanted to make sure that every community, every member in the community enjoys what we have to offer, what the city has to offer. And I want to make sure that those parks, those community halls, those facilities, the infrastructure, our businesses, and all the nonprofit, they remain better and they improve better, the progress. That's what I want to do, make sure the progress is there and it's continued. Our city leaders are doing a great job, and I want to continue that, and also want to improve as the times change, because the technology is causing changes, the environment is causing changes. So I want to keep up with the changes and make sure that all the facilities, all the resources are correctly used for the well-being of the community, well-being of the society, well-being of the Lakewoodians. So please vote for me. Thank you.
Ahmed Rafi, thank you very much for being here. I appreciate the time.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Thank you.
To be here.
All right, that's our episode of Brick by Brick. Remember, keep building community one conversation at a time, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Brick by Brick, the podcast where we build community one conversation at a time, brick by brick. Today's episode's a little bit different than our normal interviews. Today, we are interviewing candidates for the Lakewood City Council District 2. So you get to know the candidates and everybody gets to make an informed decision. And today I'm happy to have on Laura Sanchez-Ramirez. So why don't we kick it off with just introduce yourself, who you are, and
my name is Laura Sanchez-Ramirez, and obviously I'm running for Lakewood City Council for District 2. And the way I came from Lakewood, my husband was a widower. He had 3 children. And so we got married, so I became an instant mom of 3. And so when I came to Lakewood, I just love Lakewood. It's so family oriented. I loved that they had the restaurants, the mall, the freeways are nearby. It was just a wonderful city that's how I started. And raising the kids in Lakewood too. So all my kids went to all the Lakewood schools, so with the Intensive Learning Center and Mayfair High School. And I was a mom that was involved in PTA and you name it, I did it. PTA soccer mom. I'm also now with the Lakewood Women's Club. I was in Seroptimus, and I was with the Lakewood Libraries, Pan America Association, and I also help with the lemonade. You know, we had that Lakewood Lemonade Day, and so I volunteered in that, and that was a wonderful experience to do that. And I continue to help in the community any way I can, even with scholarships and all that. But I really am a person who is community oriented. I've always loved to help in any way I can. And that's the way I was brought up because my mother was a strong woman and she always helped the family because she came from Mexico and immigrated here and just taught me the strength to do things and help the community because I saw what she would do with our family, help them out. And that gave me that sense of, you know, helping out all the time and not thinking about it. You just do it, but you don't praise yourself for it. You just do it and move on. So that's kind of how I got, and that's how I got to Lakewood, though.
Awesome. So
married into the family.
So what makes you want to run for city council?
I believe I have the experience. You know, I have 16 years of experience in being on the school board, and it's something I enjoyed. I think I can bring some new ideas and experience. Especially because I dealt with multi-million-dollar budgets and also, you know, about the STEAM building. We started as a STEM, but it turned into the STEAM because we wanted to add the arts because it's important for our students to have real-world skills and help them with not just college, but college and careers, as well as we did the CalAbs, as you know. We started that in 2016 and partnered with the other school districts like Linwood, and now I know Paramount. So that's, to me, important. I think I can bring those skills and help out our city.
And you're already canvassing, walking, talking to folks. So as you're talking to them, what are some of the things that you're hearing and what is your focus on in those conversations?
Well, you know, they really do like our city, that it's clean and that they're paving. And I know some people were complaining a little bit about the trees because sometimes I guess the leaves and all that. And I see that it's being taken care of. Like I did have one neighbor when I was canvassing before. He says, I think you helped me. And because I help sometimes, even if you're not on there, sometimes as a community member, they ask me, hey, this is what's going on. And I just happened to mention it to somebody in the city and they got a phone call. And they said it was taken care of. So he thanked me about that. Another person I was speaking to, they want a skate park because they say our city doesn't have one and they have to go to another city. And they really, really pushed on that they would like to have that. And I think that would be good for our kids because I know a lot of the times we have those bicycles and maybe if we have a skate park and maybe it's another avenue for them to go ride either their bikes or have the skate park. I think a skate park would be good. Other people were telling me about sometimes the helicopter flying over. Well, I said that's kind of hard not to worry about how we can do that. I go, well, that's safety. You know, they're watching over you, but they pretty much are happy. But they like that I was listening to them, you know, about different things. So there's just so many things. But those are some of the.
So what's one issue in Lakewood you feel doesn't get enough attention?
I believe that it's the street takeovers right now. I know people were concerned because they can hear them. Actually, a neighbor of mine told me, he says, did you hear this? It was 1 a.m. and he can hear them. Actually, I was asleep, but I think where he is, and he was hearing that. And he says it's not just once, it's been several times. And I know that's something that, needs to be addressed. And I get that. We have to focus on where they're where it's happening more, because I know there's areas that are happening more. I did look into something that they can do something what they called harden the center lines. So that way that the cars can't go, if they don't have the opportunity to do those street takeovers. But I know that's one big issue.
Yeah. And what's one thing you feel the city really gets right in Lakewood?
Well, when you call them and let's say a branch is down, you call them, they do take care of that. I know one time we had a skunk that was run over and you walked out of my house and you could smell it. Immediately we called because I had to go to work, and it was gone. So they do take care of things when you do make the phone calls for things like that. That's
Good.
really.
And for somebody still undecided, what's something that you really want people to understand about your candidacy and your campaign?
Well, I want them to understand that I have the experience. I have 16 years of experience dealing with balanced budget, reserve, also infrastructure. That's really important. As I mentioned before, we have the STEAM building. We also did the nutrition center. We did our field. So I know a lot about infrastructure and how important that is to our city, because I know the new mall is going to be coming in, or the new owners of the mall will be coming in, and they will be doing housing. And how do we work with housing as well as our businesses, because our businesses, we need them and they need to thrive. So it's working with them too to make sure that our businesses are well taken care of as well. And that when they do the mall, that it's something that's inviting, especially for our young people, but even our residents who maybe want to, move into there so that they have affordable housing. So I think that's really important.
This episode of Brick by Brick is brought to you by Herthy Foods. Go to herthyfoods.com and use promo code BRICK at the checkout and save 50% off your order today. They're the best single ingredient supplements out there at the best price. So go to herthyfoods.com, get a great product while supporting your community podcasts. All right, now we're going to go into the next segment, the rapid fire questions. All right. I know it's a little silly, but I think it's cool.
Okay.
So, all right. So just one word answers as fast as you can.
Okay.
All right. Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Early morning or late nights?
Early morning.
Favorite place to eat in Lakewood?
Mi casa.
Beach or mountains?
Ooh, both.
Text or phone call?
Phone call.
Netflix or YouTube?
Netflix.
Apple or Android?
Apple.
Instagram or TikTok?
Instagram.
Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
Okay. Thank you for playing. In just a couple sentences, what does the word community mean to you?
Community is our way of working together as a family, because we are a family-oriented city. It's working together. It's helping our residents, helping our businesses as well. So to me, that's important that we all work together so that our city continues to thrive together with our residents, our businesses, and that's important to me. It's community and obviously the families, because I'm a mother, I am a wife, and a grandmother, so I'm an everyday person just like everybody else.
All right, so this is the part of the show where you get to talk to the audience, the camera, and tell them why they should vote for you. And then also where they can go to find more information or where they can go to support.
Thank you. And I want to say thank you to the audience for listening. And I hope I get your vote. I will do my due diligence. I'm dedicated. I have responsibility. And I will do really well for you. And because of my experience. Also, if you want to go to my website, it's Laura and the number 4, and then Lakewood.com. Also, I'm on Instagram, which is also Laura, the number 4, Lakewood. And I have a Gmail, but this one is Laura, the number 4, Lakewood City @gmail.com. So those are the places I go. And then you can call too. I do have a phone number if you want. You can call me at 562-550-9007. And I would gladly talk to you if you have any questions about me. And I'm here. I'm like I said, I'm just like everybody else. I am a mother, a wife, and I'm a grandmother of 2 little guys. So this is me. And I'm hoping to get your vote on June 2nd, 2026. And
Awesome.
thank you so much, Brad.
Of course. Laura, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, that is our episode of Brick by Brick. Remember, keep building community one conversation at a time, and we'll see you on the next one. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Brick by Brick. This is the podcast that builds community one conversation at a time, brick by brick. I am your host, Brad Critchfield, and today is a little different. We are going to be interviewing the candidates for Lakewood City Council District 2. The election is coming up June 2nd, and this is an opportunity to get to know the candidates so you can make the best informed decision you can. So let's jump in. Go and introduce yourself.
Yes, sir. My name is Carlos J. Aguilar. I'm running for Lakewood City Council District 2, and I'm over here at your service, ready for the questions.
Well, thank you for accepting the invite and being here today. So why don't we jump in? Give us a little bit about yourself and why you're running.
Yeah, so I grew up in the area. I've been here since 1999. I grew up doing various sports, cross country, track, wrestling, but I found the most passion for wrestling. It was the closest thing I could do aside from boxing. I boxed in my teenage years. They didn't have it in high school, so I decided to try wrestling as a freshman. Fell in love with it, found a lot of teammates, iron sharpens iron, and kind of grew with them. In fact, a lot of them, the handful of them, including E.B. Atala, and a lot of them still my friends to this day, almost 20 plus years later. After high school, I went and wrestled for Cerritos College because of being financially in a hardship. I couldn't wrestle no more, so I decided to redshirt and just start working from there. I was kind of trying the law enforcement route for a while. I got my bachelor's in criminal justice. I graduated from LASD Sheriff Academy, top of my class, actually within the top 5. Some were marksmanship, some were academic, one was PT, and so forth, but amongst the top 5. And we were in a hiring freeze. They put a lot of the departments on a hire freeze because I think it was 2009-ish, after the economy crashed. So I was like, I can't just wait around, So I went back and decided, okay, you know what? I'm gonna get my master's degree. If I want to come back to it, then I will. I had my internship at a probation department for about a year. Plenty of friends who were already in law enforcement who were a few years older than I am. One of my best friend's dad was at Torrance PD as a sergeant. So that was my one track at first. But then after graduating with my master's, I wanted to still help the community, but with a different approach. And, I had loans and I decided, I'm going to go to Whittier Law School. I think it's called not a junior doctorate, like a juror doctorate or something like that. I saw there was going to be 50,000 plus a year, about 200,000. And I'm like, I can't keep going to school. It's too much schooling, too much in debt. I still got to pay off these loans. I still got to pay off rent and stuff like that. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to start working. I decided to work for the city of La Mirada, and I was there for about 5 years in the Parks and Recs department. It was a great gig. I loved it, did a lot of big special events. In fact, I got 2 good letters of recommendations from that specific job. And as much as I liked it, by the 4th and 5th year, I ended up following the maintenance guy around. I was always curious about what are you doing with the receptacle? Why is the pump making this noise? Why is the filtration system like this? How do we handle this? And so from there, I started taking plumbing, electrical classes, and just continuing on. Eventually, I ended up in the South Bay. I was in facilities for about 8-9 years. In fact, you could look it up online. I still got my certified LA County pool technician's license. I got some other licensing in there, locksmith license, refrigerant, some HVAC, plumbing, and the list goes on. I was just kind of all over the place. But with my master's degree, with a lot of my background like construction, helping friends out with residential stuff, working underneath other friends, licensing, with contractor license, I eventually moved my way to facility supervisor, went with another city. And in the last 3 years, I've been the general manager for another city. I oversee the street department, the street lighting department, fleet department, because we have our own house, vehicles. Mm-hmm. Unlike Lakewood, they subcontract out the LA County Fire and the Sheriff's Department, but we have our in-house PD and, just kind of fire. So I oversee a lot of the vehicles, a lot of the street lighting stuff, everything from 6.6 high voltage areas to stuff with street renovations, constructions, capital improvement projects. And I know about budgets. I know about pulling grants from the city, getting awarded grants, and overseeing plenty of staff, working hand in hand for crises, everything from high winds to potential lockdowns. I'm here with a lot of department heads, with the city manager, with the chief of police. So I've already been in a lot of those meetings the last 3 years. So city government is nothing new. So as of right now, why do I want to be in council? I want to close that gap where I live, where I'm already a stakeholder, with friends and family already live. I'm already familiarized with the system, and the reason why I'm running is because I want to bridge the gap where I live, where I'm going to start my own family, where I continue to, thrive. Anytime we go somewhere, I'm like, come to Lakewood, this is the spot, Friends, family, different people I always kind of bring in. We congregate here, plenty of services, plenty of issues. I've already been, vocal about other things in the past, and I love to see it, based on everything that it has to offer all the residents. And, I've been around it, been on the receiving end of some of these good things, from swimming in Lakewood Aquatics to my siblings going to ILC to all of us going to Mayfair and so forth. And I just want to make right decisions and genuinely help people. I'm not going to tell you one. There's a thing in the Bible that says, Matthew, I think it was 6:3, don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. So I'm not going to start telling you, I volunteer here, I've done mission trips here, I'm this and this. And I'm not going to start saying all that. But I will say that I have a genuine good reason to truly help people, whether it's for what's happening right here or something else. I really want to help people regardless, and non-paid, like volunteering at other places. And, I really feel that we need more leaders in this society and in this community, and I'm the one for it.
So you've already started walking, canvassing, talking to
Yes,
folks.
sir.
So what are you hearing from residents, and what are you focusing on when you're speaking to them as far as your priorities?
I base it off of my own experiences. I hear everything from there's coyotes. So that's with law enforcement, with animal control, see what's going on, what the policies and procedures are. I hear everything about ADUs. ADUs, I'll give you one. It's I think it's AB 2533, which is something in the state that's mandated that if something has already been built and in place, you can't deny it at a local level. However, there's ways to kind of do it, because I already do it in my city, kind of working hand in hand with zoning laws. I go in my USA with my crew, have them kind of give me the feedback. Does it have the proper line? The Edison has nothing to do with me. However, they go and they do what they got to do. But if you attack things with good research, being diligent, knowing how to approach things, you could better make decisions for the community, such as zoning. You want to keep this a family-oriented, friendly city. You don't want to start putting apartments and liquor stores and stuff all across it, because it's like broken window theory, in law enforcement, which means you see something with a broken window or graffiti, you neglect it, it keeps getting worse. It's snowball effects. So the sooner you approach and the better you are at being proactive and seeing things in advance, the easier it is to make rightful decisions down the line. Everything from law enforcement to parks being trashed, everything from people being afraid of things, everything. In fact, one of the interesting questions, if I want to add a little bit of humor, somebody asked me, what if Lakewood started getting attacked by missiles and stuff like that? What would you do? I'm like, I don't think that's in my hand. I would just pray for you, brother. So there's stuff that is in our control, and there's stuff I have.
Really?
Like, what would you do? We started getting attacked. How would you protect the residents? I'm like, at that point, I just pray, man. Like, if I start seeing missiles over my head, like, what am I gonna do? You see what I'm saying? But there's a lot of good, righteous, concerning, issues that need to be looked at, collaborate with other council members, know the policies and procedures of the city, because there's stuff with red tape in every single city, and everything pertains to every city differently. I've been in 3 different cities right now. And if it's meant to be, I'm going to get the role and I'm going to do what's best for the people. If hypothetically I don't get the role, it is what it is. I'm going to keep trying to, advocate and help the community and help other people and so forth regardless. And it just wasn't meant to be. But, the point of this, it's like, I'm here for a certain reason. And, it's all about knowing how to cut through the red tape, how to make decisions, how to know how the city operates, how to know the characteristics, strengths, and weaknesses of each department, and see how one will help you make a better decision than another, and how to collaborate in terms of unity.
What's one issue in Lakewood that you feel doesn't get enough attention?
That's a great question. I feel that safety would be one of them, because it's really knowing exactly how it's being handled, how it's being approached, and maybe ways to inform the public and getting more people kind of involved in terms to, I see a lot of speeding I see a lot of vandalism. I see a lot of, trash that gets left behind. I see, ADs, there's a lot of stuff. But I mean, it's just about being informed with what's going on and knowing how to approach it. I can't give you the answer, hire more officers, to do this more, because it's easy to just kind of give a quick fix. And that's what people could say, why don't you just do this? Why don't you do that? But you got to look at the budget. You got to look at the capital outlay. You got to see, how much is involved with, the hiring. I got to see, there's a lot of behind the scenes that I'm already doing with my city that, would be applicable here. But I need to be more well informed to truly know. I can't just say, do this or do that.
Right. What's one area you feel that the city of Lakewood is getting it right?
The Parks and Recs department, all the programming, the 4th of July block parties. The reason why you see so many non-residents here, and I got plenty of friends in Long Beach and Downey and Bellflower and so forth, why they love coming to here is because of the camaraderie. It's because of the friendly neighbors. It's because of the welcoming invite. It's because of the programs that they offer to the people. You see these lines, you see these events, you see the fairs, you see stuff within various departments, and that's the reason why. And I want to keep condoning that. However, we also got to see, is there enough grant funding? Maybe we could try to get more. Just have the analysts look this stuff up and so forth. So I want to keep what's good continuing to happen and keep what needs improvement addressed, So it's kind of a balance. It's all how you look at it in terms of perspective. If you compare yourself to like Irvine, then yeah, we could definitely do a little bit better. If you look at anything from Bell to Huntington Park to Compton to Linwood and so forth, then we're doing better. But it's mostly what we could do best with what we have here.
Right. For somebody still deciding on who to support, what is your message to people that are still deciding? And what's like the one message from you as a candidate and your campaign as you go and talk to folks?
I feel that I come with good intentions. I come with good knowledge, background, experience. I'm already in city government. It's not, I obviously have done real estate on the side, but it's not like I'm just a realtor like, hey, I want to improve the city because I've bought and sold and helped people remodel houses. No, I've already been in different type of cities for the last 15 years. I know how things get pushed, how things are looked at differently, how you kind of convince people, how you do things in terms of the best interests of the residents, how you could get them to campaign and be proactive and get involved in order to truly make decisions happen. It's not just about knocking on someone's door and be like, what do you want done? You write it down. Okay, I'll touch base with you again. No, there's ways to change laws, to change programming, all the way from the state level, all the way down to the local level. I'm here because I care about the people, and I'm going to keep caring about the people regardless of how this goes. If it's meant to be, it is. If it's not, it's not. But, I'm truly here with, I'm passionate. As you can see, I'm getting all hyped up like Eye of the Tiger.
If you've been in an auto accident, don't get mad. Call the Pad. Preferred Auto Design is Lakewood's #1 auto body and collision center for a reason. Owner David Ariano runs a first-class shop with honesty, quality, and care you can trust. So remember, you get in an accident, call the Pad. All right, rapid fire. Ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Early morning or late night?
Neither.
Favorite place to eat in Lakewood?
Supermax, George's Greek Cafe, Mimi's Cafe.
Beach or mountains?
Beach, unless it's snowboarding season. So selective.
Text or phone call?
Text, too much spams.
Netflix or YouTube?
I don't watch too many shows, but I would say YouTube every now and then.
Apple or Android?
As much as I want to say Android, I'm already locked in. I got the Apple Watch, the Mac, a whole bunch of things. If I could change, I would. But
once you're committed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too late.
Instagram or TikTok?
I don't have TikTok, and I only have Instagram and Facebook. So stick with what I have.
Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
In just a couple sentences, what does community mean to you?
It's about joining yourself together with everybody in the community for a common goal, which is infrastructure, which is safety, which is parks and recs, which is small businesses, which is kind of keeping it the friendly, loving city that it is, and allowing more families and generations in domino effect to kind of come up and raise their families in a happy, blissful environment.
And to wrap up, I'm going to have you talk to the camera here, talk to the folks. Why should they vote for you? And then also, where can they find out more information and get involved in the campaign?
Yes, my name is Carlos J. Aguilar, running for Lakewood City Council District 2. I believe my Instagram is Carlos for Lakewood. I'm working on a website right now. I'm here. I'm passionate. I'm experienced. I'm knowledgeable. I've been here 26 years. I coach wrestling. I occasionally help across country. And I'm here at your service as a public servant already. But now I want to apply myself to the city that I live in, city of Lakewood. Residents, I got you. Have a blessed day.
Awesome. Dude, thank you
Pleasure,
for coming
sir.
in. I really do appreciate it.
No, thank you.
Coming in. All right, everybody, thank you for watching Brick by Brick. Make sure you catch the other episodes as well. As always, building community, having these conversations is very important. Being an informed voter and getting to know all the candidates so you can make the best decision come June 2nd. Until next time, keep building community one conversation at a time, brick by brick. Hello and welcome to the Brick by Brick podcast. I am your host, Brad Critchfield, and this is the podcast that builds community one conversation at a time, brick by brick. Today's episode is a little bit different than our normal podcast. I've invited all the candidates for the Lakewood City Council District 2 race to come on the show and share a little bit about themselves. The purpose is so you can make the most informed decision possible when you step into the ballot box June 2nd. All the candidates have accepted the invite, and we'll be going one by one, talking to each candidate and just posing very basic, simple questions. The same questions were given to every candidate as they come in. And what this is not, it's not a hard-hitting interview. There's no gotcha moments. And it's also not an endorsement of any particular candidate. This is my way of supporting the democratic process and supporting my community and at least getting to know a bit about each candidate so we can make the best decision possible for our city that we all care about so much. So with that, and without further ado, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here, man.
Thanks for having me. My name is Manuel Jimenez, and I'm running for District 2 here in Lakewood. I'm a U.S. vet, U.S. Marine, once a Marine, always a Marine. And I moved to Lakewood after my service in the Marine Corps. And it's a great community. It's one of the deciding factors just because it's a lot of veterans. And, there's a lot of veterans here in Lakewood. And the reason why I'm running is to make local impact, local change at local government.
So why are you running for Lakewood City Council?
$1 million question, right? I'm a firm believer in making local impact. I think local government is able to make a lot of impact locally. From grassroots, I've always had a passion for politics throughout the years since I think it all started in high school, being part of student body, class president every single year, and just my career throughout the years. Public service has always been very important for me, both in the military and then, post-military, working and seeing what politicians do day in and day out. I don't want to say it's a thankless job, but it's a very important job that I think goes a long way. And I think doing it locally is very important for me. One of the reasons why I've decided to run for Lakewood City Council.
So you're already out there canvassing, you're walking, you're talking to folks. What are you hearing from residents, and what's your focus in those conversations?
I've been hearing a lot about the flock system and ADUs. In regards to the flock system, I know it's, they've recently made a decision. And again, I'm all about public safety. So I want to learn a little bit more, hear what the residents have to say, and really hear them out. And in regards to ADUs, I'm all about keeping our Lakewood a family-oriented community, and I want to make sure that I also hear out the constituents and see what they want to hear, because at the end of the day, I'm here to represent them.
So what's one issue in Lakewood you feel like doesn't get enough attention?
I have to say public safety. Public safety is what I'm running on. It's my number one priority, and I feel that I want to ensure that our residents are safe, and it works hand in hand with economic development. And quality of life. I like to say that everything works together. We need to have economic development, have more taxes to come in to be able to provide, and have more officers deputies on the street.
Where do you feel the city gets it right?
I have to say all the events that they put on. I think the city does an amazing job of really pushing out events during these uncertain times. I think the city does a great job of bringing community together. Everything from the 4th of July parade to the Easter egg hunt that just happened to the ongoing events that they continue to put out, to the farmers market. I was just actually at the farmers market, and I got to meet a lot of good local vendors and see what they do and how passionate they are about their farmers market.
So for somebody who's still deciding, what is it that you want them to understand about you as a candidate and as a campaign?
I'm very passionate about public safety. For me, just growing up in a law enforcement community, a law enforcement family, public safety is very important to me. Owning a private security company that works very closely with other municipalities and other clients in the area, public safety is my number one priority. Quality of life is super important to me. Living in Lakewood, just the whole family atmosphere is very important to me. And the economic development is very important to me, bringing more business into the city. And I think everything works hand in hand. You can't have an amazing public safety department without having great businesses that bring in taxes to the city. I don't want to raise our residents' taxes. That's a no-go for me. We have folks here that are retired, that live on a fixed income, and we can't raise their taxes, their property taxes. So why not rely on businesses and outside folks that come and visit our mall?
This episode of Brick by Brick is brought to you by Herthy Foods. Go to herthyfoods.com and use promo code BRICK at the checkout and save 50% off your order today. They're the best single ingredient supplements out there at the best price. So go to herthyfoods.com, get a great product while supporting your community podcasts. All right, one word answers as fast as you can. All right. This is just a way for people to get to know you a little bit more. All right. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Early morning or late night?
Late nights.
Favorite place to eat in Lakewood?
A double taco grill.
Beach or mountains?
Beach.
Text or phone call?
Text.
Netflix or YouTube?
Netflix.
Apple or Android?
Apple.
Instagram or TikTok?
Ooh, that's hard. Can I split them? TikTok.
Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
All right. In just a couple sentences, what does the word community mean to you?
Ooh. Community. I like to say community means home to me. People come together to support one another, and it's just home. I like to say that is what makes it very unique. Your home can be anywhere as long as you have community. And the community is only as strong as the people in it. So, being in the military, our community was our barracks, and we made the best of it. Here in Lakewood, community is my neighbors and the city overall that we represent.
All right, so this is the portion of the interview where you're going to talk directly to the camera and just tell them, why they should vote for you and then where they can go for more information.
Yeah. No, as a U.S. Marine, I stick to my core values: honor, courage, and commitment. And that is exactly what you'll get if I'm elected to the City Council on June 2nd. I believe, again, I'm sticking to our quality of life, public safety, and economic development. That's what I'm running on. And that's what you'll get if I'm brought into the Lakewood City Council. In regards to finding some information, I invite you to our website, jimenezforlakewood.com, or our Instagram, Jimenez. The handle's Jimenez for Lakewood. We'll be posting a lot of information. We'll be walking. So you'll probably see me out in the neighborhoods, say hello. But yeah, and like the Marine Corps said, Semper Fi, always faithful. And that's definitely what you'll get with me if elected June 2nd to Lakewood City Council.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate you taking the time.
Anytime. Thank you.
All right, everybody, that's it for this episode of Brick by Brick. Remember, keep building community one conversation at a time, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Brick by Brick. I'm your host, Brad Critchfield, and this is the podcast that builds community one conversation at a time. Now, this episode's a little bit different than our regular podcast. We're going to be talking to all the candidates of the Lakewood City Council District 2 race. All candidates were invited, all accepted, and this is an opportunity for you to get to know the candidates so you make the best informed decision come June 2nd. This is not a gotcha interview. This is not a hard-hitting interview. It's also not an endorsement of any particular candidate. This is really an opportunity to hear from the candidates so we can all learn together. So with that, and without further ado, welcome to the show.
I'm happy to be here.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your connection to the Lakewood community?
Yeah, I've been a Lakewood resident for 24 years. I bought my house here in Lakewood in 2002. I grew up in Gardena. My parents just lived around the corner. They bought their house in about 97. And every time I would come to Lakewood to visit them, it was a clean city. I mean, you can tell right when you get off the freeway, there's something special about this city. And started shopping homes, house shopping. And in 2002, I was lucky enough to buy a house and move in here.
So why run for city council?
I'm a public servant, okay, at heart. I've been a police officer for 27 years. I have two little guys at home that I raise. We work, we play, we shop here in Lakewood. I love Lakewood. I'm Mr. Lakewood. It all started in 2023, when I joined the Lakewood Leadership Academy. And then it was from there, it sparked my interest in civic government at the local level. As a police officer, I put on my uniform every day and I go solve other people's problems. And I wanted to get involved more in the city that I live in. And then so making connections with council members, in the city, I got appointed to the Southeast Los Angeles Work Development Board, where we try to stimulate the work economy in the area with its 7 other cities. Janice Hahn appointed me as her aviation commissioner. At work, I am one of the helicopter pilots, so it was a national transition to move over to the Aviation Commission. And last year, I got appointed by the City Council to the Measure L Oversight Citizens Committee that oversees Measure L funding in the city of Lakewood.
So you're already walking, you're canvassing, you're talking to residents. What are you hearing from the residents, and what are you focused on in those conversations?
A lot of it is the quality of life issues. For instance, as I'm walking down Monterey, I ran into a gentleman, a resident, and he was complaining about his street light pole being removed from his house. And he talked about at night, his wife feels unsafe walking to her car. So what I did was, shot a text message to one of the city managers and see if we can address that issue. Another gentleman on Heda was complaining about speeders down the street, and he was talking about a solution, maybe adding a street light. I'm sorry, a stop sign. So shot another text message to one of the city representatives. And then I had another gentleman on Lakewood Boulevard that was complaining about, catalytic converter thefts and stuff. So those are the issues that people, and it's not a single issue, but it's a variety of little issues that as a council member, people expect you to solve those problems.
What's one issue you feel doesn't get enough attention in Lakewood?
I think right now it's the e-bikes. I was driving down Del Amo Boulevard, and I saw a couple of kids, on the sidewalk speeding, on the sidewalk, and pedestrians, like jumping out of the way, And then a couple of weeks ago at one of the, I believe it was May Boyer Park, my kids had Little League practice, and they were complaining about, the grass being torn by these e-bikes. So that's one of the concerns that we got to look into.
So what's one thing you feel the city of Lakewood really gets right?
The city of Lakewood actually is a very fiscal, responsible city. The city collects about $17 million in sales revenue, along with about $13 million in Measure L funding. That Measure L funding tax, those $13 million, funds a lot of the repairs for the libraries, the senior citizens, the playgrounds. There's a lot of improvement that we've done with those sales tax money.
For somebody who's still deciding, what do you want them to understand about you as a candidate and your campaign?
I am the candidate with the experience with city government, county government. I sit on a city council appointed Measure L oversight committee. Janice Hahn appointed me to her aviation commission, that I oversee all of the LA County airports. I manage all the funding, all the budget, all the expenditures. I run the financial side of my parents' small business, so I understand about budgets. I'm a public servant. I'm a police officer. My job, when I go to work, is to help people out. I understand city government. I have that experience. So putting that all together, I think Lakewood is. I think I can put a lot of my talents, in the city council.
If you've been in an auto accident, don't get mad. Call the pad. Preferred Auto Design is Lakewood's #1 auto body and collision center for a reason. Owner David Ariano runs a first-class shop with honesty, quality, and care you can trust. So remember, you get in an accident, call the pad. Okay, so this is the part of the show where we're going to do rapid fire. Okay,
right.
Just a lighthearted way. So just one word answers as fast as you can.
All right.
All right, ready? All right. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Early morning or late night?
Late night.
Favorite place to eat in Lakewood?
Ooh, I have a lot. Red Robin.
Beach or mountains?
Beach.
Text or phone call?
Depends. Depends who it is.
Netflix or YouTube?
YouTube.
Apple or Android?
Apple.
Instagram or TikTok?
Instagram. I don't have a TikTok.
Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
In just a couple sentences, what does the word community mean to you?
Community means everybody together, everybody working together, everybody playing together, everybody enjoying each other. And that's what I love about Lakewood.
So in this segment, you're going to get to talk right to the camera, talk to the voters, and tell them why they should vote for you and where they can go for more information and to support.
I would humbly ask for your vote. I am the candidate that has the leadership experience. I understand about budgets. I understand about public safety. I understand about infrastructure and economic development. Vote for me for District 2. You can reach me on my social media on Instagram, Rudy Villarreal 2026, or on my website, www.rudyvillarreal2026.com. Thank you very much.
Rudy, thank you for taking the time.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it.
I really appreciate it.
Oh, I got to do my sign off. Thanks for watching Brick by Brick. And remember, keep building community one conversation at a time. And we'll see you in the next one.